everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Michael Damiani.
Hello.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hey.
And Brandon Jones.
Yes, we made it.
This is the penultimate episode for Glenny's Cauldron. We only have 2 more items to toss into the cauldron this week because Glenny's just about to put the lid on the cauldron. It's time for marketing.
Uh-oh.
Our patrons are selling this week the slogan for Glenny's game.
Okay.
Recently, Rage 2 had full or open world insanity was their slogan.
Sure.
Team Sonic Racing is gear up, team up, speed up. So we need to do worse than that. We can't just be equal to those bad slogans. We need to be more vile, a most vile video game.
Okay.
All right, so we're in the market. Cell Armor is selling. Get ready to explode your balls into a firestorm of dust and skeletons. Our game. Get ready to explode your balls into a firestorm of dust and skeletons.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. But Sinjin Bourget is offering Hurt Me Daddy.
Okay, all right now.
No.
All right now.
All right, pander. Okay.
Is this gonna be 2-1?
Because I was looking for the 3-worders too. Like I hate a 3-word slogan.
Is that like hurt period?
It's not, but that's gonna be the end of the Hurt Me Daddy. Pre-order now. I should do. To be fair, I should do the other one in the voice too. Get ready to explode your balls into a firestorm of dust and skeletons.
Well, I definitely hate both of them.
Yes, that's good.
Like many conflicts, there's
They're both
like many times we've done this.
trash.
There's the one I know is the worst, and then the one I should pick because it's probably the more appropriate.
There's one that's just dumb and one that's just really bad.
Yeah.
Which one is vile?
Ooh.
Which of these is vile?
I don't want to say the right answer to that question.
What's the right answer?
The first one, I think.
The
Oh, you
first
think
one
the
is more
first?
vile.
Okay, yeah, I'm with blood. Yeah, the first one.
Exploding your balls into a firestorm of dust and skeletons?
Super vile.
That's
Yes.
like Duke
Yep.
Nukem.
Yeah.
Very vile. That first one.
So you're willing to let Hurt Me Daddy go?
If we have to, we have to.
We don't have to. Carcerar's going to get it. He's
Yeah.
going to get whatever we don't buy. I know it.
I'll give him that one. Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
They can take that.
I'm happy with that trade.
All right.
That
Take
works.
it.
Cell Armor, thank you. We are buying Get Ready to Explode Your Balls into a Firestorm of Dust and Skeletons. Dust and Skeletons, pardon me.
Right.
I will deal with next week. We'll talk about all the final ingredients and then the details for the game jam. Until then, good luck everybody with what's happening next week. For now, it's time for corrections. Jones, begin correction music, please. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order release date, November 15th.
Nice.
Titanfall 2 main character, Jack Cooper.
That's been a bit before. That was some game.
That's a bad name, right?
That was a game.
Yeah.
At the end of the podcast that we played previously, was
Yes.
trying to guess that.
Jack Cooper. PUBG is only free on mobile, $30 everywhere else. There is a Sly Cooper TV show already in development for a while. Wolfenstein Youngblood is being co-developed by Machine Games and Arcane Studios. However, that's a $30 game. I don't think it takes all of Arcane Studios to co-develop that game. I think they could still be working on something else beyond that.
Totally.
Needles Kane is the character. Sweet Tooth is his truck. However, he does go by Sweet Tooth in the Twisted Metal 2012 game. Which
yeah.
I would say is non-canon. We gotta say Needles Kane.
Yeah, who knows
Why would
what
it be
canon they're going to
non-canon?
use.
Because I wanted erased blood. Like a Terminator movie, right? I just wanted, that doesn't count. Like an Alien movie. Like, that didn't count.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Well, okay.
I enjoyed
That
game.
could have been what sold them. They could have used 2012 as like the model, when pitching it.
Before we end corrections, I need to know if the panel considers Twisted Metal 2012 canon or non-canon. Jones.
It's its own canon, not a part of the PlayStation 1 canon. No, those are separate universes.
So it's a separate timeline. Okay.
Yeah.
Bloodworth, canon or non-canon?
I don't know enough about.
Michael Damiani, canon or non-canon?
Non-canon.
It's non-canon. And corrections music. Okay. Needles Kane.
Yeah.
What a name for an evil clown. We have a bunch of news to deal with today. We also have we're continuing our E3 preview. We're going to talk about the Soft brothers, Ubisoft and Microsoft. And Ubisoft news kind of ties in with talking about our E3 preview, so I figure we start here. Because I love a game announcement, I kind of like a game leak. We had a game leak this week. What's crazy is it leaked via Spiel Times, which is a website that was, at the time of recording, down. Just gone. But we did talk about Spiel Times in a prior podcast when I was talking about Devotion, that game that was taken off of Steam. They had the big scoops on that. So who knows what happened to Spiel Times. Anyway, we have an image. I'm going to show it to the panel now because I forgot to show it to you before the podcast. It is a roller derby. Ubisoft leaked a roller derby game. A highly cartoonish roller derby game, but there's a ball.
Okay.
And so, like, think of like some Fortnite characters rolling around a roller derby. They don't have a lot of roller skates. Some have roller blades. You know what I mean? The impression that I get is like highly customizable characters. You have this ball. You can ask for a pass. We've seen the control commands for this game. You can ask for the ball. You're like, give me the ball. It's a button on your controller.
Oh no.
Yeah. You can throw the ball. You can pass the ball. You can slam and you can dodge. There's like a dodge button. There's L2 is pump. And I don't even know what to imagine pump does.
I imagine
Pump up the
probably
ball?
has something to do with moving your legs.
Yeah, maybe a fake. You know, maybe like if you see a guy
go. Yeah.
doing that, then you're like, you'll jump to try to like swat the ball out, and he'll pumps to make you jump, and then jumps over you.
Because I think R2 is accelerate
pump
blood.
fake.
So yeah, maybe a little pump. You know what? I think I lost it. It's gonna be hard for me to show the panel. No, it won't. So what I did want to talk about, like, because it's just like guessing. You know, not a lot leaked. I wanted to talk about a game's chance at first impressions and like the context of a trailer. You know what I mean? We have this, and we can't contextualize it at all.
That's the name of my college thesis.
Yes, exactly. Like, Jones, what do you think, man? Like, doesn't it suck when something like this happens?
Well, this in particular sucks because this is what a perfect Ubisoft thing. This is like the Just Dance moment, the Trials Rising moment. Like, this is that weird, okay, I'll go along with it. And then by the end of, you know, them talking about it at each Ubisoft E3 press conference, like, that was wholesome and fun and only took 4 minutes. And that looked like a fun team that was really passionate about that project. Okay, cool. Oh, Assassin's Creed, here we go. Mm-hmm. But like, they loved that surprise. They loved throwing that weird thing out. So it is a bummer knowing about it.
And now we have a chance to not be excited about this game already.
But I don't know. I'm ready to complete this cycle by seeing where I'm at emotionally actually during the Ubisoft press conference. When it like starts up and there's like a streak of purple paint or something, and then like a rollerblade goes by, and we're like, oh, it's that one.
Roller Champions, by the way.
As opposed to like, what the heck
Okay.
is this?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's better, because I like where we're at with Jedi Fallen Order. I think there is a benefit to, you know, giving us a little bit of information before we actually get into the show, and then blowing it out during the show.
Right.
So it's not just like, this needs to surprise you out of all of this noise. This is actually something you were kind of already looking for, and so you'll spot it out of a crowd and be like, oh yeah, I want to see that full trailer, that gameplay from that teaser.
Yeah, I guess what bums me out is seeing the response to it is just like, this? Like, is this gonna be $60? You know what I mean? Yeah. Is this going to be free to play?
No,
and just like it doesn't have the proper
the
context,
part.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what I feel weird about. Here's our image. The guy's like, he's like wearing a mask. He's like wearing
really
catcher's
that
mask.
cartoony. Like,
that
actually
looks like
looks
art. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's like.
I tried to sell it as for no, it's not game. That is not a gameplay image. This is a promotional image for.
It's a lot glossier than I was expecting.
Okay.
I'm guessing this is
We
like
have to show this
the
now. We can't.
intro
Okay, all
or
right.
trailer or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, exactly. I don't expect this to be a big part of Ubisoft's presentation. I expect it, as Jones says, to just be a thing, just like a fun thing, a fun surprise.
People are going to roll onto stage.
Yeah.
The dev is going to just very carefully roll out to the podium and grab onto it. And like, a big boy is going to slip during this announcement, for sure.
Please.
We don't know the Nintendo tie-in yet, for one.
We do not. And Blood, that is another thing I want to talk about with Ubisoft, because in last year's presentation, I guess we'll hop all over. So they have another press conference at E3, Ubisoft, and they usually have very highly entertaining press conferences, as Jones kind of hinted at. They'll go nuts on stage. Blood, last year they had 2 Nintendo things. They had the Donkey Kong DLC for Rabbids, and they had the Starlink surprise where all the Star Fox characters showed up. You play only as Fox and Cloud at that point, but I guess today we can play as all of them. Is that out yet? That DLC? Mm-hmm. It is confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you expect to see a Nintendo announcement at the Ubisoft press conference?
I sort of do. Like it's almost a given. Like I don't want to say that like it's predictable, but both of those things did really well for them. So I would imagine they're going to keep working with Nintendo on similar projects.
Do you think it's another first-party IP?
I don't know. The funny thing is the thing that my brain went to is actually Sega with Jet Set Radio. If there's some way that they could be tied in with Sega as well.
Maybe for some costumes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, just like throw some extra characters in there.
No, I mean
maybe a stage that like has that theme, so it looks just completely different than the rest of the game.
Blood, I don't mean in the context of Roller Champions, though, because I expect that part of the presentation to be 5 minutes max.
Sure.
I don't expect this to be a big thing. It became a bigger thing because it's a leak, and we all get excited about leaks, right? But I mean as a presentation in the whole. Ubisoft's hour and a half, whatever they're going to take up, hour. What is their Nintendo thing? I think we're establishing a pattern. I think it's fair to think that we're going to see a Nintendo thing.
I have a bold take.
Okay.
Brand new IP exclusive to the Nintendo Switch.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like Zombie U.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like it kind of
what if
feels
it's
like
that,
the just from that key art that doesn't scream Switch to me, but maybe they're I don't know if key art, but like that just a little glossier. Like I'd be surprised if that wasn't on PC, but it just feels like Star Fox and being in Starlink and the other example that you gave. Oh, and Rabbids. Like these are both Nintendo things coming into or an already established franchise. I know that Rabbids was an established Nintendo franchise already, not the Rabbids, but the game itself that the DLC was added to.
Yeah.
All of this kind of seems like preliminary conversations that they're having with Nintendo that might be leading up to something. I could totally see it not happening, but I wouldn't be surprised. I would not fall out of my chair if they... And maybe this is also, too, I'm still reeling from Ultimate Alliance 3 being exclusive to Switch. That's just like...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How did that sell go? That's so strange. This game, Ultimate Alliance 3, would make more money if it was not exclusive to Switch, period. Like, there's no question in my mind. So what had to happen for that to get locked down like that? So then, it makes me wonder if from Nintendo's standpoint, like, they are aggressively trying to make that Microsoft thing happen. They are aggressively pursuing Ubisoft.
In fact, the episode after E3 should be like the Where Was That episode for the podcast. Where was that?
Yeah.
I expect, if there's no Nintendo, I'm going to be like, where was it? You know what I mean? It would be weird for there not to be Nintendo at Ubisoft at this
Weird.
point.
I wouldn't be disappointed, but yeah, it'd be...
Where was that?
I wonder what happened.
Yeah.
Well, we know it's not Ghost Recon.
Yes.
Very little chance of
Ghost
that.
Recon is not exclusive.
We know they've got at least one other game that seems to be Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell probably wouldn't be on Switch.
Wait, we know they have one other game.
This is Blood's Animal Crossing nonsense. That
Yeah,
he
what
likes
is
to
this
throw
about?
out.
Playing
with my emotions.
We almost know nothing about this press conference,
Yes.
right? So it's like they've got to have more stuff that we don't know about.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
We've been saying Splinter Cell for a long time, though. I'm
right,
ready to
like
stop
didn't like
saying
there was
Splinter
like
Cell.
stuff. Didn't those guys like actually tweet something like a couple weeks ago? Like
No,
almost like
that
it
was a joke. That
was a joke?
Yeah. That was...
Oh yeah, that turned out to get debunked, Blood. That was crazy, actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, count on Watch Dogs 3.
Yeah.
Least surprising reveal, right? It's just like, here it is, and we're in London. Like, we know! And so, like, count on that. I think that'll probably be a 2019 game. This is an Assassin's Creed off year, so I think they're going to go heavy on that. And, not Wildlands, sorry. What is it?
Breakpoint.
Breakpoint.
Yeah, I'm just curious how many things they'll actually show off. Like, are they going to spend more time on Beyond Good and Evil? Or are they going to take a break?
Another CG trailer. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That game's CG trailer budget is more than most games get.
But yeah, because it's weird because they just don't feel like there's a ton of stuff, so they've got to have a ton of stuff to show.
Damiani, what could Ubisoft do to impress you?
Mario and Rabbids 2.
That would impress you?
Yeah.
What about that would impress you?
Because the game was really good.
Yeah, it was.
They did a DLC. They did one DLC pack for it. I was like, okay, it was pretty good. It was one of the better selling third-party games. I'd be absolutely shocked if they don't announce a sequel to that. Include more characters. Like, there's definitely more characters you can add to that lineup in that game. So just go, like, more characters, maybe go a little harder on like the crossover element with it as well. You know, maybe
It was a lot of rabbits and very
I
little.
feel like could use a lean in a little more heavily into the Mario element and the Donkey Kong element. I think would be great for that. So I'd like to see more of that. Can't wait for more music from that. It could be really good. But it also could do another collaboration with Nintendo, as you alluded to. Like they've kind of like started with Mario Rabbids, then they did Starlink. What can they do next? Like, what other IPs does Nintendo have that they might be willing to work with? I think F-Zero might be one.
Man, maybe. Well, I mean, like
I'm not sure how.
The crew team is working on F-Zero.
I mean, characters and
Yeah,
stuff.
F-Zero
you know
open
it.
world.
I didn't say it would be an F-Zero game, but
Right.
that's an IP that people kind of asked, hey, can you do something with that? And Nintendo's like, well, we're not going to do anything with it. So, hey, does anyone else want to do something with this? I mean, heck, that roller derby game you have right there. I mean, they just put Captain Falcon in it. He just like shows up. And
Show me you. Yeah, please, dude. Yeah.
Falcon needs everybody and
Yeah.
stuff, and he's just got like. His blades are just like little.
Throw
like,
me the ball.
Yeah.
Show me your moves.
Yeah, I mean, so a thing that I think is really fascinating about Ubisoft is currently, right now, the games that they're currently supporting are doing so well.
Yeah.
So they got Division 2, they have For Honor, they have Rainbow Six Siege.
Division 2 will have something there for sure.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
Blood, I wasn't actually thinking about them for a while. Crew 2 kind of dropped. Like
Not one of their big successes.
Not one of their big
'Cause
successes.
everything- so many other things are doing
it's
so
actually
well.
probably still doing pretty well.
in comparison to those other games.
Not as well, but I think it's still got a pretty sizable audience
So
that we're not paying attention to.
There's no racing game announcement this year from Ubisoft,
I don't think so.
and it's definitely not F-Zero.
No.
Okay.
But I could also see, like, how Sony kind of like the last couple months have been very exciting for Sony with the Microsoft Cloud announcement and Final Fantasy VII trailer. Death Stranding is gonna happen any second now. Like, but I also was not surprised to see Sony kind of vanish. Like, say we're not going to be at E3, we're not going to do PSX this year because they were doing so well. They're like, we can survive by being a little quiet before PS5 news really starts to drop. Like, we can skip E3 and that's fine. And I almost feel like Ubisoft's kind of in that same place. Like, we're doing really good right now. So, like, it might be like kind of a dull Ubisoft press conference in terms of like those big surprises that we've come to expect. But I still, at the end of that press conference, will probably think this company's doing really good right now.
Yeah.
Like I would not be surprised if we don't get a new maybe get one new IP announcement or something strange like this. You'd like Assassin's Creed, like maybe get one last DLC thing, but like not a new Assassin's Creed. No Splinter Cell. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't come out like really quote unquote disappointed if that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they'll play a Watch Dogs?
Oh, with some next gen stuff?
Yeah,
that's my dream, man. That's my dream.
Something that we don't even know what the crap this is.
And clearly our consoles now are not capable of performing. Yeah.
They got so much blowback though from downgrade. I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be iffy. I did think of one thing that could really surprise me, Kyle.
Okay, something that would
and
really impress
actually,
Michael Damiani.
That would fit in with Ubisoft.
Tell me it has nothing to do with Nintendo.
It does have. It is.
That's why he's been thinking about it so hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you said it's an off year and stuff, but they could still like allude to it. They make Assassin's Creed games about killing people, and I think it'd fit just in line if they made a chic game using Assassin's Creed concept.
Does Sheik actually kill people?
Just put Sheik in Odyssey, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put Sheik in Odyssey.
Like the Sheikah,
Yeah.
like working in the shadows, stealth. Like
Give me Sheik on the Wind Waker boat
It wouldn't
in
have,
Odyssey.
Kyle, it wouldn't have to be based on anything historical. It could be fantasy now, so they could do a
Yes.
fantasy Assassin's Creed.
Like Hyrule Warriors. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
I got news for you. Have you played Odyssey? It's mostly fantasy at this point.
It is nutso. Yeah, it
we
is.
are.
One other news item that I want to talk about, another leak, this one on Ubisoft's own fault. Something on their store appeared called Ubisoft Pass Premium. Zero details. It was just an item on their store that was quickly removed. We all know what's coming. They got their own EA Access coming.
Yeah.
And
Especially because EA Access is now on PlayStation. It might have been one of those things they were just waiting
But
on that door to
they
open.
push
Yeah.
Uplay real hard. Every Ubisoft game I load up is like, Uplay? And you're like, no.
Yeah.
Joey's like, skip it.
Yeah.
First jump in. Like, I'll probably sign in later.
There'll be something
But-
that I'll spend some points on once in a while. Some
I just
costume or
play so
something.
many Ubisoft games. That's something I've reluctantly just been like, all right, fine. I actually know what my Ubisoft password is. Okay.
sure.
So,
Here's the thing, though.
wouldn't be surprising.
Ubisoft over EA can say we make great games. Here's our Metascore average, right? Like they can just say like we make very, very good games, and they have like facts to back that up, right?
Much more so than EA.
Right. That's it. Yeah. I guess by comparison is what I meant to make. Yeah. And so I could see this being pretty appealing. Sure. Especially if it's the same kind of thing where it's a discount on all DLC.
Oh man, yeah. If there's some big, if it launches with the next Assassin's Creed, and it's just like you get all of it, all of the exclusive outfits, any collector's edition stuff at launch.
Can I get it a week early?
Yeah, well.
Probably. I think they're going to do that too.
I think we can make that happen, Kyle.
But if you're talking about stuff like, like Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered came out recently, like the back catalog, I think, is really strong and could be compelling for a lot of people, especially for like something like Assassin's Creed or Splinter Cell where people want to catch up. And it's like, yeah, there's, 15, 20 games for you.
Yeah, and I mean, even those games that I rattled off that they're still supporting, Rainbow Six Siege will be a part of it.
Sure.
You will just get that. For Honor, you'll just get it. They want you to hop in and start spending money, so like they'll just let you have that as part of that premium pass.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think that could do pretty well. It's maybe worth getting excited about because it might have pretty big value.
Not worth talking about during the press conference, though.
Wait, why?
No, they will.
Yeah?
That'll be huge, dude.
Ooh.
They're going to be so proud to announce that. What do you mean?
Proud to announce it, but that's not exciting. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like,
No.
That's something you want to hear during a press conference. Like, that to me would be just, some newsletter that goes out after the press conference is over. Enjoy all that stuff. Maybe there's text. Wait, what's that? There's that logo they keep showing. What is that? But, like, to stop a press conference and tell people that they should give you more money, specifically.
Wasn't it Ubisoft that kept popping the banners onto the screen on Twitch?
You can buy this now, those things?
Xbox, too, is hilarious with that stuff.
But Jones, have you ever seen Xbox pass up an opportunity to advertise Game Pass? Have you ever seen them pause in a moment where
was Game Pass announced during a press conference though?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yes. Maybe it was like rumored before because I feel like we talked about it for a while. But yeah, in their press conferences now, every opportunity, and that game's going to be on Game Pass, so like Game Pass. So yeah, Ubisoft I think will be talking about this thing all night long. And last year it wasn't part of E3. They've announced they're doing a streaming service. I don't know if we'll see that yet. But Ubisoft itself wants to have its own game streaming service.
Huh.
And I wonder if we'll see that as well.
Yeah, me too. That's kind of a weird thing.
It's a very weird thing.
I wonder when the last company in this industry announces they're going to do a streaming service. And we're like, is that it?
It's going to be Nintendo.
We got it.
It will be Nintendo.
No, Konami will jump in there at some point. Play all our classic arcade games without any kind of disc.
Yeah. I want to wrap up Ubisoft by saying, like, I asked Damiani what they could do to impress, but I want to know what they could do to, like, leave an impact. For us a week after E3 to say, man, like, Ubisoft did a good job. They had a good show. And so I don't mean, like, game announcements in particular. I don't mean, like, yeah, if they announce this or this or this, they'll be great. Like, what can they do to put on a good show that convinces people that Ubisoft is a publisher that cares, that is one of the best?
It's tough because I have such a high opinion of Ubisoft, so it's like I know instantly you'd think like surprise me, like have those big crazy announcements, throw some new Splinter Cell at me. But like what I think is so impressive about that company is the fact that like Division 2 is going so strong that like you said, For Honor, Rainbow Six is still around. Like I personally would just be impressed if they kind of touched upon all, shown that all of these franchises are still going strong. Now like EA being like Battlefront 2, everybody is not discounted right now. It's like, no, these games are huge. They have like a big competitive following. There's so many characters in Siege now. Like, I would be impressed by that, but that doesn't necessarily make headlines. So,
right. What gets those headlines? What says like, Ubisoft did it? Ubisoft is the one, baby.
I don't know. I mean, surprise new IP announcement that's big. Maybe their final game reveal, like their final announcement. That was that string of those E3s back to back to back where they were announcing a big major new IP, and it'd be like this elaborate presentation, and everyone was talking about it immediately after. Just think back to like Watch Dogs, like that first reveal. Just everyone was like talking about that.
Yeah.
I feel like Ubisoft always has they always have a good presentation.
They do.
They're always the very worst in the middle of the pack when we come out of E3. So I think they just need to hit the ones that we're already expecting. Just like have good showings for them. Have a really strong new IP announcement. Like they actually support it. Like they really care about it. Want it to do well.
I don't think it's Roller Champions. I don't
It's
think that's
not
the
going to
one,
be that.
right? Yeah.
Keep those those types of announcements to like a minimum.
Like Trials Rising last year, right?
Yeah.
It's just like Trials
very
Rising.
brief.
It's,
Well, we have like a lot of different types of games coming out for different people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here you go. We have a diverse lineup, and I think you just got to hit those beats. And I think at the very least, I'll make it a good conference. I think it just hinges on that ending. Whatever that final announcement is. What's their big finale?
I think also too they could, we could walk out of that show potentially with Beyond Good and Evil being like one of the number one things. Like they could pull a Cyberpunk, like what Cyberpunk did last year.
Yes.
Of just like not necessarily there could be something that they do during the press conference, even if it's something we can't like have an appointment to go see. Just that did you see that 6 minutes? That's so crazy, and it's not just like look at the scale. It's like someone's playing this. This is actually a mission that I'm watching that doesn't just show off, because like I think they did a good job of. I've seen that game in motion. I've seen that engine. So when you see these big CG trailers, it's like, yeah, this is CG and it's a plot that's kind of confusing, but I believe it. Like I've seen what this engine can do. So like I wouldn't be surprised if this stuff is actually realized.
Yeah.
But actually seeing it happen, like actually seeing something from start to finish, that's really really impressive. Could be cool. It has that possibility.
Yeah.
Because that game looks insane.
I get
but at the
that.
same
That's
time,
good
I could see it
comparison.
skipping. Who knows?
It's weird they brought it last year. I think the other reason they brought it last year was the Joseph Gordon-Levitt
Yeah.
speech.
Yeah.
And like, hey, like you can put your stuff in this game. Because I was thinking, like, why did they even show it last year? They totally didn't need to. Ubisoft believes in that game
Yeah.
in a crazy way. They're dumping money in it.
Yeah, and I think similarly, I think it's just about flexing that creativity. Like they've done a really good job of balancing their portfolio between like the known heavy hitters and doing this weird stuff on the side. And sometimes that weird stuff, like Mario and Rabbids, pays off. And we've kind of gotten away from the UbiArt side of things. It looks like some of those developers have clearly moved on.
Yeah.
But
Unruly Heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what else that they've got cooking other than Beyond Good and Evil that will just show like this isn't some gritty, realistic shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder if because they come after Microsoft, we might have an inkling of if Microsoft talks about new hardware before them, and then Ubisoft's allowed to talk about projects on their new hardware.
Yeah.
That easily could be one of the things as well. I know we kind of dabbled in it a little bit earlier, but actually having something they can show saying this is running on the new Xbox Scarlet specs or whatever, blah blah blah. And we get, I know you're saying like that's maybe too early to do it, but it might be the perfect time to do it, especially Microsoft does a throw to them in their press conference. Hey, tune in tomorrow for Ubisoft or something. It's like that would get everybody talking.
And I think the right way to do it is low key too, because
Yeah.
Watch Dogs had no words, not just like, and now we're gonna give you a future taste of what next gen might look. It's just nothing.
Yeah,
Show over. Here's a video, and we're not gonna tell you a thing about that. That was pretty cool.
I think we're at the point where the games and the consoles can still kind of feel separate, where we can look at a game that's going to be on next gen and not think like, well, we must clearly be getting this in 4 months. It's like, no, it could be another year at least.
Yeah,
Like,
we've been there.
yeah.
Hasn't everything we've seen so far though, like Elder Scrolls, Halo Infinite, they've all had like lip service after or before, clearly stating that they are next gen projects.
Will at least be
or
both.
will be running
Yeah.
on.
Halo's current gen, baby.
It's going to be both, I thought.
Yes.
Yeah, they said it would be for both. So I feel like there hasn't. Is there been something we've seen that is it just like
Oh, I think Elder Scrolls and Starlink are next gen only.
Starfield.
Starfield?
Starfield.
Just call it Star Citizen.
But I thought about those two things when I think about Ubisoft, because like, I mean, this might seem a little rough, but like, at this point, I just don't care about Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. I'm excited about them, but like, they're not things, like they're ideas, like it's a signature on a piece of
impossible
paper.
to care,
It's a meeting that went well, like it's exciting to know that those are projects, but it's like, even when they were both being announced, it was like, all right, like, what's the timeline for this? Like, and so like, I don't know if I would really need that from Ubisoft. I think it would kind of go over the same way if they were like, this crazy Assassin's Creed, but in 2 years. It's like, not now.
Yeah, I hear
wait,
you, dude.
there's just no need to rush. That's kind of how I feel with Ubisoft.
Especially if it is just like, the Norse thing. If it's just like that,
Yeah.
that's not crazy enough to warrant 2 years of speculation.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be Assassin's Creed. If they won't show anything for like that, and especially alluding to it, it'd be a new hardware. I think they will have like a new project that will honestly be the thing that either whether or not you're like they don't say anything about. It's just they say coming in like late 2020. It's like, oh wait, that's definitely going to be a next gen game.
It's going to be a multiplayer loot game too, probably.
Well, one thing I think is interesting, if Xbox has something similar to PlayStation 5 with the whole load time business, Like that seems perfectly suited to Beyond Good and Evil 2 with this whole idea of like flying in and out of planets.
Warping to some planet, going down to its surface.
Yeah, without
Heck
any
dude.
kind of delays. Yeah.
Show it off. Did you hear that? Oh, it sounds like it's podcast halftime!
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of May. Fangamer, makers of officially licensed merchandise for games like Dark Souls, Hollow Knight, Stardew Valley, Undertale, Katamari Damacy, and Persona 5. Not to mention Easy Allies t-shirts. Their newest products include the Hollow Knight Collector's Edition for Switch, PS4, and PC, a Prince and Katamari magnetic plush, and a Sans hoodie from Undertale. Check out their store at fangamer.com. Our gifted sponsor this month is the Able Gamers Foundation, a nonprofit charity that aims to improve the overall quality of life for those with disabilities through the power of video games, creating opportunities that enable play in order to combat social isolation, foster inclusive communities, and improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. The link to donate is in the description. El Fanis. Car Keys Express. If you need a replacement car key or a remote, check out carkeysexpress.com/store. Use the coupon code EZA at checkout for free shipping and 10% off of your order. They are proud sponsors of Easy Allies. Hogue Law Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Or at least that good business lawyer's YouTube and podcast series, Virtual Legality. This week in Virtual Legality, Hogue discusses the Tfue/FaZe Clan lawsuit and its implications on esports presentation, the vagaries of the proposed loot box and pay-to-win prohibition bill, and a brand new series on game design and the business of the industry with his game developer brother, Ratchet & Clank, Destiny 2, Call of Duty, called Two Hogues Are Better Than One. Check it all out at youtube.com/HOEG Law or on your favorite podcast service. Sweet Justice, a sound design company from the southern shores of the UK. They've worked on some of the biggest AAA titles, the most refreshing indie titles, and collaborated with the best development teams in the world. Girls Make Games. Did you know that by 3rd grade, girls begin to lose confidence in their math and technical abilities? And that by 7th grade, they're no longer interested in a career related to technology like software development? That's where Girls Make Games comes in. They offer summer camps across the US and in the UK and offer up to 100% financial assistance across all locations. Girls Make Games is on a mission to empower and inspire the next generation of designers, creators, and engineers. For more info and to support this mission, visit girlsmakegames.com. Uniqlo, a Japanese fashion brand aiming to change the world through the power of clothing. With a focus on high quality and innovative textiles, Uniqlo is redefining everyday clothing by increasing the functionality of your wardrobe at an affordable price. They call it Lifewear, made for all. Visit uniqlo.com/EZA to check out their collections, including new and upcoming graphic t-shirt collaborations with Nintendo, Star Wars, Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, and many more. That's uniqlo.com/EZA. And our mega sponsor, Heroic Replicas. The fine folks at Heroic Replicas design and fabricate true-to-form, high-quality replicas and props. From legendary gear to keepsakes or all-metal creations, Heroic Replicas can make something special for you. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. Jones, who is Tfue?
Who is Tfue?
Yes.
I thought that was clear by my read. Is this some sort of musician? Is this a person who makes music?
Nah, dude. Just a Fortnite guy.
Oh.
Okay.
He's in the clan, yeah. So
Yeah.
sports player, got it.
So
It's a musician clan.
yeah, it's a clan of musicians.
Doesn't ask blood who Tfue is.
Wu-Tang,
just ask
Wu-Tang
it.
Clan. Reason podcast halftime came a little early this week. I bet that basketball team knew that we have to talk about the Microsoft press conference. This one's a big old doozy.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a doozy, perhaps 2 hours long.
Based on what?
Basically, the what they've uploaded to YouTube, they have like a 2-hour window for it.
Oh.
You know, like the thing that's like coming up. But you know, that might
Okay.
be pre-show and post-show. I don't know if that's really
That's a good point.
promisable. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing that went around was it's 2 hours long.
Yeah. There's just an alarm that goes off in my head when my expectations just start getting too high. When
Bring
you think
'em up.
of all of the
Bring 'em up.
just
like-
Sony's not going to be there. So every
Yep.
single
Bring it
possible game you could ever think multi-platform that would be at a Sony press conference, why wouldn't they shift?
Yeah.
Where are they going to go? The Kind of Funny Games Showcase? You know what I'm saying? Had to do it.
Kind of Funny has like 60 games lined up.
No,
okay.
that's
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. You know what? Let's start the conversation there because I feel like we talked about Call of Duty last week. I'm curious if this panel thinks that Call of Duty will appear in the Xbox press conference this year.
Yes.
I would think so,
That'll
yeah.
definitely be something.
Despite Sony having marketing rights,
Yes.
despite Sony paying to have a marketing exclusivity, you still think it'll be
Probably
an Xbox
some
press
clause in there about E3 that says if you're not at E3, we still get to do something during E3 because it's just a huge opportunity. I don't know.
Sure.
Even Sony might just be willing to be like, sure, like show something there as long as it says it's on both. You know.
Sure, and then Microsoft will say that's on both in their press conference.
Oh yeah.
Also on PS4. It's like really fast. I don't know.
No, they won't do that. But I mean, I don't think Sony's necessarily worried about that. I think there's like ample opportunities after E3 to be, here's like, you know, a trailer reaffirming its like exclusivity.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, to be honest, Sony will not be too feel threatened if Call of Duty does something like a gameplay demo, just a short trailer during Microsoft's press conference, because whatever they're doing later this year, it'll probably be there in full force. And they'll remind everyone, hey, it's going to be, you know, here as well. Don't forget about it.
I don't think so, man.
You don't?
I think, we know rumor-wise that Call of Duty, and we know it's rumored just to be called Modern Warfare. By the way, I haven't seen a good tweet about it. We're not going to make a joke about the title. Call of Duty Modern Warfare will be revealed soon, Damiani. Like, they're going to blow it up, dude.
thought.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
soft reboot.
Oh,
Anyway,
sorry,
It's just
They
a
don't-
handshake, though, man. It's like we give you E3, and then we'll get some exclusive down the road. We'll get some DLC that'll be exclusive for a little bit longer on PS4 or forever on PS4.
because
I don't think it's a hand. I think it's a firm contract.
I just don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's a deal.
Yes.
I just don't know how the average consumer, when they see it during Microsoft's press conference, how they automatically associate it just with Microsoft.
Provably, yes.
Versus
Provably, yes. And that's
okay.
why they do that.
Okay, because
That's
I
why
would
they
think
spend
it's just
money
like,
on
oh,
this.
it's Call of Duty. It's like a new
mean-
Call of Duty coming. I think that's what they would focus on. Like, I think I would just focus on, they're showing new Call of Duty stuff. It's at Microsoft's conference just because it's an avenue to be there. I don't feel loyal to buying it on. I don't feel like it's just like tricking me into thinking it's exclusive to there, or that I need to buy it on Xbox or anything like that. They'll probably do, you know, best on Xbox One or whatever if they do have it during that or something.
And then Sony would rip up their little contract and say, what? What are we spending money on?
And then Sony, I mean, I don't know. Call of Duty's huge.
Yeah.
Do you really think they're not going to be at E3? I mean, they could do something before E3 that's big themselves.
What did they do at E3 last year?
Didn't they show off the thing during Sony's
Yes.
conference?
They had a tiny little thing during Sony's press conference, a trailer that was not new.
They probably weren't happy about that.
They were the one who supplied the trailer.
Sony's the one who tells them what gets to be shown, though. They're the ones who ultimately decide.
I disagree. They can they can tell their own developers what they want, but they can't tell Activision, like, hey, give us a nice new trailer.
No. I'm saying that the Sony says you only get this much time. Like, they can't. Like,
Sure, they
Activision's
can't say
like,
much
all right, we
time.
want to do
Yes.
this. We want to do like a whole walkthrough, and they're like, no, you don't get to do that. You get to give us like a 2-minute trailer.
They could say that,
That's
yes.
what I'm saying.
Sure.
So if they were maybe unhappy with that, maybe they're like, hey, this year we want to do like a big E3 thing, and if Sony's out there, like, hey, they probably had talks with Sony and said, we need to do this. Like, what needs to be worked out to have this? I don't know, unless they have they do an event beforehand, but I just feel weird if they're just not at E3. Wouldn't this be like the first E3 in how long they've not been at E3 in
It'd be
some?
very strange.
That'd be so weird.
But I think
It's
it's
so
not
weird.
on the
What?
show floor, right?
Right.
The floor plans are out.
Yeah, Damiani, this is the first year ever of E3 with no Sony. It's a weird E3. It's unprecedented already.
Yeah, I mean, but that's Sony though. I don't.
Exactly.
do you
That's
think-
even weirder, man.
But that doesn't mean Call of Duty and Activision were ready to say, "Hey, we're ready to pass up on this too."
Sure.
And Sony making that decision I don't feel automatically makes the decision for Activision and their marketing.
So do we think Destiny as well will appear during the Xbox press conference, despite Destiny being best friends with Sony? Well, money best friends.
Does
I
Destiny
wouldn't be
need to
surprised if
seen?
either of them show up.
Destiny has not been not seen since its announcement at E3. Every single year they have some dumb Destiny thing.
This is an unusual E3, and
Yeah.
all precedences are being broken. But like,
Right.
there's just something sacred about Call of Duty. There's something about this one franchise that I think breaks the rules. That
Okay.
I think, like, if you were to see someone else, you know, some other franchise that can make a, you can make a reasonable argument that like this, they might be beholden to one publisher or another. But it's just like, I just don't think Sony would be like, oh, you want to be at E3 Call of Duty? Like, I think this probably got figured out a long time ago.
Sure.
Just in terms of like, if you're Sony, like, why would, I don't think you're worried that people are going to assume, wait, is Modern Warfare exclusive to Xbox this year? Like, you're not going to think that. Like, it's just been around for so long. It's just such a mainstay. That I think they're okay. I think Sony's like, we benefit from this too. If Modern Warfare is a great E3, regardless of who shows it to you, we're going to reap rewards of that already because we know we're getting these exclusive things. If it's 1 week out of the year, it's not going to hurt our sales. You're not going to like buy an Xbox One if you don't own one and you have a PS4 just because the trailer looked good and with the green logo in front. I just don't see that,
It's funny.
Being something anyone worries about, Activision or Xbox or Sony.
The lineage was with Xbox. Some of my favorite on-stage demos of E3 history are Call of Duty demos for the Xbox 360. Like, those used to be so good. So yeah, I can see that. But I mean, even back then, Microsoft was spending money to get Call of Duty in their press conference, among other things. Obviously, like consoles, like DLC exclusivity and all that. So yeah, I mean, maybe that is not the most important part of the contract. Like, they'll keep DLC.
They bought all those devs. I think Microsoft is spending money right now because they're getting ready.
Sure,
they're investing a ton in this gen. It feels like.
I mean, I'll just ask the panel, what else are you excited about? From the Microsoft press conference.
New hardware.
Yeah,
I think
that's a big thing. I think it's seems like they're primed and ready to talk about that stuff. Even last year, like they dropped it a little bit. It's like, hey, and future
even
hardware
hinted that
as
there's
well.
more than one console. Even like they kind of did. Yeah.
So I think it's time, even if it doesn't amount to anything more than what we've seen of the next PlayStation. That
will it get a name?
Doesn't need to.
Sure.
I hope so.
Yeah. We had Project Scorpio for a year, and that's why they even printed it on some of the Xbox X's, right? And so I wonder if we'll get one of those.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll say, like, Scarlet, and, we'll find out the full name a year from now.
Yeah, they actually ever themselves said Project Scarlet?
No.
So,
it turns out they did not, yeah.
I bet they project name at least is said for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then next year during, like, the here's when it's coming out reveal, that will be, like, the name.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that dev lineup, because they kind of set a precedent when they lined them up. Hey, we bought these people and these people and these people and these people.
Yeah.
It would seem like the form factor should continue with, okay, here's this game and now this game and now this game. Especially because like Microsoft loves to label that stuff. Like they love to let you know all the information they can before and after you watch every demo and trailer. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come up with like a name for it or something, or this is clearly the next 10 minutes are going to be all about these games,
right?
Yeah.
Or the next 20 or whatever.
Well, I think, even though it's not exclusive, I think that they'll probably feature the Outer Worlds quite a bit since they own Obsidian. Like they want that game to do well. They want it to be seen as a really great game so that whenever Obsidian shows their exclusive, then people will be right on board.
There were rumors a long time ago that Playground was working on a new Fable game. What do we think? Is that happening this year?
I knew there was a lot of talk about them working on something that's not Forza.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Fable is...
I hope so.
It's not what I want from them, at least.
Whoa, what do you want from them?
I just want something new.
That's something new?
Oh, man, it's been so long.
It's Fable.
Sure.
So long, though, like...
To me, it's different from Elder Scrolls. It's different from other RPGs out there still.
Yeah.
I do think that Fable is its own unique subgenre.
And 1 and 2 and 3 were all very different from each other. Like if you played them all and really like got down to the specifics. So they all had kind of the same vibe and, in some cases, some voice actors and art. Yeah. But like they all kind of had a different... what the main character was, like in one you're like a king and you got to, rule the kingdom. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if they could change it up enough. I hope so. That would be the only Fable game we've got this gen. And I think I'm ready to see how you can improve that game. Like, I think in a lot of ways that game was kind of released before its time. It was like its legacy is almost like these hefty promises that it couldn't meet, and so I don't need to see trees growing and all the nonsense that came out of the original Xbox version, but it just is, it's a franchise that's always been so pretty. And even just like the character models in Legends, I was like, oh, that cloak looks so good. Just something about that style that you don't see a lot of. Like, you don't see like a AAA version of that style. That style is usually, it's kind of the same, reminds me of like Town, the new, the Pokemon people are doing.
You checking out that game, Jones?
Well, it looks fun, It's like, or Dragon Quest Builders. Like every time you see something in that style, it's always very quaint and cute and mostly for kids.
Yeah.
So it'd be fun to see kind of like a Terry Pratchett style, like very British, very like, ooh,
Is that Wallace and
joke
Gromit?
was Pratchett's Good Omens, which comes out soon with the special Amazon series, the Good Omens. Billboards all over the city, Kyle. You're driving right past him.
Who's Terry Pratchett? Help me. Give me
Terry
more.
Pratchett is unfortunately no longer with us. I think he passed away last year. But was, if you know Neil Gaiman, Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman were very, very close. And they're same similar kind of humor, like big fantasy. Not so much sci-fi, mostly fantasy. Terry Pratchett.
Sounds like stuff I hate, man.
Good Omens, I think he collaborated with Neil Gaiman. Don't quote me on that. But, just that kind of Monty Python off the wall, zany British humor. Like all the Fable 2 made fun of Fable 1, Fable 3 made fun of Fable 2. Like it's just a great attitude in that series. And it's been so long that's like I don't want to go as far as to like have God of War expectations, but like it's been really fun this gen, like revisiting a lot of these old franchises. And it'd be fun to have a new team and be like, okay, let's just take all the old expectations, throw them out the window, and make the game we want to make.
Gears of War 4, to me, had an insanely unimpressive demo the year it came out. Do you think Gears of War 5, coming out this year, will have an impressive demo? A demo that's like, wow, that's a cool looking level.
I hope so. I hope they really find a way to make Gears surprising, because I think even when Gears has all this cool, huge set piece stuff going on, like somehow it just sort of ends up feeling like more of the same from a first impression. So it would be interesting. Like Gears 4, like they just kind of called the Locusts something else and gave you a bunch of robots, right?
Right.
So yeah, again, like just it's a franchise that I feel like needs to have a step, like a clear step forward.
But the demo was like the flaming tornado balls, right? There was like a big heavy wind, and they were like throwing the balls up in the air, so they fly over. And yeah, you need to that gameplay, because they're really amping up. And from 4 going into 5, it was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing with those characters. And I think the people that care about those characters and are excited to continue their story in 5 are kind of covered.
Yeah.
I think moving on, it's
Story's
like,
there, yeah.
don't, I think it would be a mistake to do something that's very dramatic or like ends with a cliffhanger. Oh no, that character.
Yeah.
It's like, just kick a lot of ass. Just make something that's really crazy.
Do we think, I wonder almost if they just lean on a new multiplayer mode, a new style of multiplayer mode.
Maybe.
Like probably Horde, but renovated. I don't know, just a modern Horde mode.
Right. I wonder if there's anything that would make sense, like if it would, because they were talking about their streaming service and like having
Mixer?
No, not that.
xCloud.
xCloud.
Yeah, I want to get into xCloud for sure.
Yeah, I'm curious if they'll have some way of putting those two things together, where like they show like an xCloud multiplayer demo with like all of those people that are like basically in the same server, because they're talking about making that matchmaking work better and that kind of thing.
Because I think, I don't know, I cannot confirm that. Let's just say I'm guessing that xCloud will want to start this year.
Sure, I mean,
Like
they talked about
implementation.
they've got like an employee beta or something like that, where they've got people from the team testing.
Right, that was
it.
an official announcement. That was
Yeah.
part of their press release, wasn't it? Yeah. So yeah, they're at least going to try xCloud this year. So yeah, Blood, they might be demoing it. Yeah, I really just thought it'd be like hey, look out for xCloud. Look out, we're going to attach this to Game Pass. You'll be able to stream any game that you want. If you get the weaker next gen console, if you get I forget what it's called, Anaconda and. It's like lecherous. It's like the word lecherous. Anyway, like
no help for Bossman. No help.
Lecherous Lincoln. I don't
Ian's
know.
not here. No backup.
So if you get that, hey, you'll be able to play Anaconda caliber games. You've got an xCloud. If you got a good internet connection, you'll be able to play the best versions of these games. Yeah, I wonder if that'll be a thing, Blood. I wonder if they'll talk about that.
I'm also excited to see how they expand the whole. You can take over the enemies from Doom Eternal. Kind of carrying over some of the stuff that the Souls franchise introduced, where like, a player has entered your game. I think that fits Gears really well. So to have something you could add to some campaign levels, or even a mode where it's just like, I just gotta mow through all of these guys, and every time a new one comes at me, it's another player.
Gears Tactics, I think we'll hear from as well. Gears Pop, the game with the.
Please, Gears
Tactics.
Pop. I want to be pumped for Gears Pop.
I don't know.
I want Gears Pop to show up in a big way.
I don't know. I don't even know if they'll mention it, man.
Because if you
know.
show up last year the way you did, and then take the year off, you better.
That could
You better show up.
That could be a game appearing on Switch.
Pop, of course.
That would be hilarious.
You know what?
Because
Why
we haven't even
not?
talked
Duh.
about that.
Yeah.
The
All the
whole-
Switch games?
Their partnership.
So we have-
This is the thing that's like kind of not been fully confirmed.
We haven't
but, like,
even seen the achievements yet, right?
No, we haven't seen that. Like Cuphead's supposed to be getting
Yeah.
achievements.
They're not-
Like,
they're
Xbox
not
Live
yeah,
integration's supposed to
Yeah.
be coming. Does Microsoft get to talk about that? And I feel like they're both will talk about it in their own ways. And I think there will be some mention of like Nintendo stuff in Microsoft. I think the announcement probably for Ori, if that's happening, will be left to Nintendo. But I think like Gears Pop or whatever, if that's like a game that like we're kind of laughing at it, we're wondering like does it really have like a market on Xbox?
Right.
But that's something that maybe could find a better market on Switch potentially.
Sure.
Like it could release on both, and that could be like another title they're offering up. Because I thought the rumor was that it was like multiple games besides
So yeah, well,
Cuphead and Ori.
I do want to say that you can get achievements in Minecraft right now on your Switch.
Yes,
I do want to say that at least.
Yes.
So Ori's been rumored. I've seen rumors of Master Chief Collection.
Yes.
But I don't. That one is way less likely to me than Ori. Like Ori's like a lock. Lock it in.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah,
I think
I mean-
both Ori games. Yeah.
With xCloud, I mean, I'm still half expecting to see that on Switch as well. Because they were talking about all that stuff at GDC, and they were talking about these games being screen aware and knowing what device they're being played on.
But they didn't go all the way with it, right?
Yeah, they didn't go all the way and
Yeah.
say it's going to be on Switch too, right? But it's like they pretty much said, like, yeah, these games would be best played with a controller, but here are all the other ways that you could play it.
I guess I'd be really surprised if it goes down like that.
Yeah. Is this a chance for someone from Nintendo to walk out on stage during Microsoft's press conference?
You know what? I guess this year would be the year.
Yeah.
Next year, let's just talk about Anaconda. You know what I mean? Next year, let's just talk about Scarlet.
Yeah.
This year, why not talk about this goofy thing we're doing with Nintendo? This is not threatening to us. This is funny for us. We're going to keep supporting Switch games, and we're going to have a laugh and make money. I bet so. I bet this would be the year to do it.
I don't see why not. I think it'd be a good time to do it.
Lockhart.
That was the name you're
That's
looking for?
the name of the week.
Tifa Lockhart.
Xbox. Hey, that'll be the mnemonic.
Yeah,
from
there you
now on.
go.
Yeah. Mnemonic.
There you
Mnemonic. Lockhart is the one that's like low budge. It's going to be even less than a PlayStation 5. It's going to be like base, and then Anaconda's the beefy. big
Okay,
boy.
those are the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
What?
Oh, I wasn't aware that they were. I missed that rumor, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know
Oh,
about
that there's two coming consecutively?
Yeah.
I didn't know Lockhart was the name of the weaker one or whatever, the lower tier one.
Yeah.
I didn't know it had an actual thing. I could just refer to it all as Scarlet still.
Now
until
you
it's,
know. I'm giving you
know.
all Xbox knowledge, baby. You're all Xbox insiders now. Okay, we talked about Halo. We talked about Gears. We talked about their first party stuff.
Well, there's more.
What I think is cool about
Well, one thing I hope they don't do,
what?
I hope they break the chain on Forza. I hope we don't get a Forza this year.
Break the chain.
Oh.
I hope so too, because next year will be so impressive, right?
Yeah.
When they're showing off next gen
It'd be
Forza.
way
Yeah.
more impressive to like beef up the content of that game
Yeah.
than to put one out this year and then when they launch not have a mainline Forza or have, go back to Horizon, but if Playground is working on Fable or whatever else, just save Forza for next gen.
Yep.
Hashtag break the chain.
Yeah,
Break
makes
the
sense.
chain. There's probably a run of how many times they've just had a car spinning on their stage. It'll be sad to see that streak
Drop
break as
leaves
well.
on us. Drop leaves on me
Will we
last
see a
year.
car?
I love in 2019 that having a exclusive sports car
Yeah.
on stage is like,
Yeah.
we're over it. Such a cool
Seen
thing.
it so many times.
But what I do want to talk about is the third parties, because I think we'll see something from Capcom, something from Square Enix, something from Ubisoft, something from EA. Basically,
Yeah.
every big third party shows up and they have a big game to show.
Microsoft's doing Battletoads internally, right?
Yes.
That's the one I want to see. Before this, I know we're moving on to
Wait,
third
how do you
parties.
envision this? Because I don't want to see this game at all.
You really don't want to see Battletoads?
No, dude.
I mean, just rip the Band-Aid off. I have to know what it looks like and if it's going to be appealing or not. If
So
it's
what-
not, then I can get over it.
What they showed last year was like a gross hand-drawn style. What was
Yeah.
briefly shown with the
Yeah.
title reveal. So I imagine this game's gonna look gross, dude. What I'm conceptualizing is 2D, basically like flash animated things moving on a 2.5D
Yeah.
plane.
Nope. Okay.
That's what I'm imagining.
All right, Kyle, I can't go with that. That's disgusting.
What do you want?
Oh, I want it just to look good. But if it's going to...
It might look good.
Your reality is kind of like
I
crushing my
mean-
hopes now.
Yeah, I don't know. Like what you just described to me sounds similar to Ori, and I guess that's sort of like what I'm thinking is like.
Ori's strictly 2D, right?
In terms of the way it's motion, but it's in a 3D engine.
Oh, because of the depth and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like obviously the art style will be totally different, but more, like Ori in a sense, but more of a comic book feel in terms of like how everything is presented.
Yeah, it's so strange to me. It's like when Battletoads was on NES. This is one of the best looking games you could possibly have. It looks so cool. It looks so big budget. You're just sliding down walls and this looks like a 3D tunnel. Your fist becomes huge when you punch a guy and the screen shakes. Everything feels so good. If you make a game that's like, hey, it looks like Battletoads, like to me it like doesn't, because it's not that big budget. It's not the best this could possibly look. You're trying to like throwback style, and I think that's where I get disappointed.
But that's what I'm saying though. It's not that it's trying to look like a 16-bit or 8-bit game. It's just trying to like it was very much a comic focus. I think they even had comics and Nintendo Power or something like that. I remember.
Oh sure, yeah, because I mean he only plays 2 of the Battletoads in the game itself, and like that they use stuff like that to make them characters and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
And the cutscenes with the Evil Queen and stuff.
This is also the Sonic the Hedgehog movie era, Kyle. So they need to get the art out to understand why it's wrong,
and then delay it to 2020.
And then they can push
make it next gen.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Then we can fix the art style.
Yes. You know what? That should have been an update. So I don't know what week that happened, but yeah, it was announced that Sonic's been delayed till February 14th, 2020, because of the reaction to that trailer.
They have the like we're gonna make it look better like tweet, pre-written, like it's that blog post is ready to go. We're sorry.
Oh, for Battletoads?
We had a vision, but we ultimately want to make fans happy.
Nah, here's how I figure it. Because I just spouted all of that, I figure it's going to look basically what I just said, but everyone will be like, Kyle, you were wrong, dude. This looks so sick. I'm gonna be like, okay.
Sure.
I know people are gonna love how Battletoads looks.
The art style's like waiting at their desk, and they're just gonna be like, "It's the triceps are too big. The triceps are too big." Like, got it. Okay, that's it. That's the thing. We knew there was something.
Those triceps. But yeah, I want to talk about these huge third-party studios. Square Enix will show something at the Microsoft press conference, at the Xbox press conference.
Has that been a confirmed thing?
No. But they always do, because they had Final Fantasy 15. They locked down Kingdom Hearts
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7 is still first on PlayStation, so I don't think it'll be Final Fantasy
Also,
7.
yeah, Square Enix has their own conference as well. I think they'll
Sorry,
save a
Damiani,
lot
that's
for that.
that's next week, bud.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be at
They
Microsoft.
had one last year.
But Avengers could maybe be at Microsoft.
Don't. Yeah, I refuse to get hyped at all about Avengers.
That could be.
There's
Jaws.
a huge.
It could be at the
Of
Expo.
course.
That would be the perfect time for it.
Kyle, perfect with a capital P, dude. Of course. That's
Yeah.
when you do it. That they're not going to do. They're going to mess it up. They just hate this game for some reason. They
hate it.
despise this exclusive.
They announced it's
This
canceled.
mad exclusive that they have.
Grinning, we canceled it.
But the Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts, those are imminent.
Yeah.
Those we knew those were months away.
Yeah.
And they just don't have that right now. I don't know what that game would be that they would.
I think
because those were like not. I mean, they didn't demo Kingdom Hearts 3, but they could have.
Right.
During the show like they did with 15. And I remember 15 did not go over well. That was
It did
interesting.
not. No.
Was Oninaki in last year's Square Enix thing, or is that later?
Oninaki? Is that the weird?
It's from Tokyo RPG Factory.
I think it was in a Nintendo presentation.
It was
Yeah,
a Nintendo
yeah,
Direct.
okay.
Yeah.
That was
But
the
it-
Direct.
I-
From
that's
the
the thing.
Indies Direct.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I expect something smaller like that to end up being shown in the Xbox conference rather than the big guns.
I think they bring the big guns to Xbox, man.
Yeah.
They just traditionally have. They got a run going.
I would say
Like Octopath just came to Steam, right? Have they said anything about Xbox version of that?
I don't think so. Yeah, I'm thinking of stuff like things that could be possible, Kyle, like realistic.
Yeah.
But I think the timing wouldn't work out though. Like Final Fantasy 14 finally coming out on Xbox. That's
That'd
one
be
of
a
the
thing.
That's one. Actually, would be a
thing.
decent deal.
Yeah.
I just feel it would with the expansion coming out like 3 weeks after E3.
Be too hard on the dev team.
They kept it a secret so long. I think we would have known about it by now. I don't think it would have been saved for E3, but it would be a cool announcement for that. What about more games that have never been out on Xbox before? Because they brought we got like 12, we got 10 2
Right.
HD.
And I feel like that was a big announcement
That
when
stuff
they
like
said that,
7,
yeah.
like all those came out. So maybe there's more of those coming out.
Like Parasite Eve.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Parasite Eve.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Never on Xbox. Why? What were you thinking of?
No, I was actually thinking of more Final Fantasy games, but also
Oh,
it could
okay.
be any of the Square Enix stuff. Wow, what is Chrono Trigger on Xbox?
Not on Xbox.
There you go, Chrono Trigger on Xbox.
Like a good version of it.
What a
too.
weird announcement.
Yeah.
No, it's got to go through the cycle. They always release the version where everyone gets upset,
With
then
the dumb
they
text.
fix it.
Yeah.
This is how they do it.
Present the cycle. Yeah, Jones, you touched on something I think is actually really interesting, is that with Square Enix, traditionally, we have been waiting for a thing that won't come out for years.
Yeah.
It's so weird right now to 15's out, baby. 7 is coming soon. It's like, we don't know anything beyond that. Besides these 2 Marvel games. But yeah, beyond that, it's just like, what do we even expect? Maybe they are pumping the brakes on what they announce. I'd be bummed. I'd be bummed if there's nothing from Square Enix. How about Capcom? I think Capcom is going to make a huge announcement at the Xbox press conference.
Have they teased DMC DLC
No.
for DMC 5?
Apparently they've wrapped it up. Apparently it's all done.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Resident Evil 2 has been something that Huber has been eyeballing for DLC, and I think that could maybe be it.
Yeah.
Capcom seems really quiet, though.
Yes.
I almost feel like Iceborne is going to be the thing, and then maybe some smaller games, and they'll say, see you next year.
Oh, and Iceborne, giant blowout, yeah.
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 Again, Iceborne, that's been another one really associated with the PlayStation promotion.
But they got to promote it. I mean, they've done their own things as well, so maybe they don't do it at Microsoft.
Right, because the
Yeah.
debut happened at PlayStation, and then the recent trailer happened during the State of Play. I just don't think Microsoft has that deal locked down.
That one, I don't know if they really need to be at E3 for that, potentially. Like, they just have it at the show floor or something like that. I thought there was a report, Capcom said there's no big other games coming out for the remainder of the year.
They did say that.
It's like
And
a
they said-
financial thing.
They said
Yeah.
our fiscal year is going to be down from last year because we're not going as nuts as
But I
2018,
still feel
obviously.
like they could have announcements for stuff coming out beyond that.
Yeah.
I honestly, the Hail Mary is like RE3 remakes announced during the Microsoft.
Yeah.
To me, that's like best case scenario. It's like
Sure.
remake 3 is coming. It's like, oh yeah, we all kind of expected that. It's an obvious thing, but we get to see it. That's kind of cool.
It starts with a rat who walks over to a PlayStation 1 controller. Someone picks it up and says, "This thing sucks," and then zombies start happening.
What I actually could
Yes.
kind of see, though, is if there is a bigger RE2 DLC coming, if they're not done with that yet, because the thing sold like crazy, so why not?
Yeah.
Like, have that DLC trailer lead into, like, a post-title tag for RE3.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
you get
yeah,
a
yeah.
teaser of Nemesis, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ubisoft we already talked about, but I think they'll show another thing. EA, I wonder if they'll have a new game to show off during. Like EA always has a game during an Xbox press conference.
Do they?
Yeah, because they're tied with Battlefield. So basically, every year there's a Battlefield. They're showing that off during the Xbox.
What would they show?
I mean, Star Wars, but I don't know.
Star Wars doesn't have a big stage presence. They have the demo that they're probably going to be streaming, right?
Right, like Saturday they'll kind of blow it up already. That reveal will be gone.
But they could still show some. Like, that's like one of those like multi-conference kind of games.
Yeah.
It could still have some big presence.
I could see like a 4-minute CG trailer for Fallen Order split into 2 parts. Like
Yeah.
the first when EA Play kicks off,
And
and
then
then
stay
watch the
tuned.
rest
Yeah.
for the Xbox press conference.
It's happened before.
Yeah.
And
It
they
happens with the Battlefield trailers, actually. For the rest of this trailer.
And I feel like they're already like on that train of like milking any moment that they can get. Like the fact that they had that.
Oh, EA.
Yeah, that
Yes.
Star Wars celebration that really didn't amount to all that much.
That was milk, dude.
Yeah.
Big jar of blue milk, dude. It's so nasty. Yeah, they were super milky. What?
Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC.
Yes.
Square Enix. Sorry,
you
that's it. That's
nailed
the
it.
answer.
That
Yeah.
get the tattoo. Damiani nailed it. That will be what's in the Xbox press conference. Absolutely, that makes perfect sense. That's the thing where I will be saying, where was it a week after if it doesn't happen, for sure. DLC's promised. DLC's coming. They updated the game recently, and so yeah, it has a name. It has a code name. This isn't their final name, but yeah, dude, absolutely, that's the time. Those are the big third parties. They do have. We talked a little bit about the studios they bought.
Yeah.
Do we think Ninja Theory is going to show a game?
I think Ninja Theory could show something.
Like a trailer,
it
though,
wouldn't
right?
be necessarily this year, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think they could tease something.
I think it'd be cool, and I want it to be something we cannot talk about on this table. We can't think about it.
Right.
Ninja Theory has a better idea for the next game than we do here.
Yeah.
Yes, I want it to be that.
Who else is there? Compulsion?
Yes, Compulsion did We Happy Few, and I mean that game came out more recently than Hellblade.
Yeah.
So yeah, they probably got nothing to show at this point.
Yeah.
They could still, I mean, that's the thing with smaller games. Like, those studios could still maybe have something else in the works.
Yeah, We Happy Few that development was troubled.
And well, we know that
know if they can
Microsoft
turn
isn't
around
above
that
showing a
fast.
trailer for a game that doesn't exist yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going to have a lot of demo stuff. Like, we're going to see a lot of these games in motion, and so they're going to want to fill in as many of those little fun announcements as they can.
So who else are we missing? We talked about Obsidian, Playground, Compulsion.
The zombie game,
Dying Light 2?
State of Decay guys.
State of Decay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dying Light 2, I bet will be in the show, actually.
State of
It
Decay
was
is
last
the
year,
one
yeah.
that I feel like least likely that we'll see something like a new game, but maybe a lot more added on to the current State of Decay.
The other one is top-down RPG Studio Blood. I never remember their name. In Exile. I did remember their
Exile,
name.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a weird one, huh?
Yeah.
Wasteland and all that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they could show something early.
Sure.
It would be really cool if they went through every one of those.
Yeah.
Like in the same kind of block style as they did last year, and like, all right, this is what they're making.
Will they have a new studio announcement that has the audience grabbing their heads in amazement?
I know they want it. Of course
Yeah.
they want that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If they could potentially have the most diverse conference at the show, yeah, they want something huge.
Yeah, it was funny when we talked about Epic Games buying Psyonix, the Rocket League developer. It's like, I didn't know they were for sale.
Yeah.
Well, it was like, they have one of the most successful indie games out there.
Yeah.
They're for sale. You can just buy them? And I wonder if like Microsoft was the same. It's like, wait, what? You know? Well, obviously, I mean, like Epic probably spent a lot of money on that purchase. But yeah, I think there's some studios that I don't even know are for sale, right? I think maybe
Yeah.
everybody's for sale if you have a high enough big enough wallet. So yeah, I wonder if they could truly impress us. Because, they say In Exile, it's like, neat, cool, good studio,
Yeah.
but it's not like, it's not the same thing. It's not that same level. And so
Ninja Theory is close.
Ninja
Theory
Theory,
is
I think,
really
was
surprising, yeah.
a jaw dropper last year.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that. Yeah, that was a big surprise, especially because of their history with Sony.
Yeah. Well, and just how much they talked up being independent with Hellblade.
And that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For them to like pretty much double down, I was like, no, we have creative freedom. I'm like, okay, you say so.
I believe it.
I hope so.
I believe it. I do believe
Yeah.
that. It seems something that is important to that leadership. So, I mean, at the end of next week, or sorry, the week of E3, are we going to look back on this press conference as one of the best of all time?
Whoa.
No.
Why?
I think we might still need another year for that with these studios.
I feel like despite my expectations that they will spend a decent amount of time talking about next gen and showing or alluding to things, projects, maybe like conceptual videos or just naming studios that some of these new studios they got, maybe they're working on games that we'll show you a little bit, but like it's because it's going to be coming later down the road. But that's going to be it. It's a lot of like potential. They're going to be talking to us like what will be, what may be, and it's not really tangible enough yet where we can go, oh my gosh, this is going to be so amazing. It's going to be.
And we're like next year, it's like next gen is months away. There is a different feeling. I get
Like they
that,
might
yeah.
have some like decent surprise announcements for current gen. I don't think those are going to be strong enough to make it the best ever. I think we have to wait till we hit the refresh, essentially. And
get
then
that.
we can start talking about, Lockhart and Anaconda projects.
Nice.
There you go.
That is what they're called.
Yeah.
Blood. This is going to be the best press conference of all time.
No, I'm with Damiani and Tour. I think that we're going to be on the tip of this generation, and then we'll get the big blowout later.
Yeah. Jones, you in this boat?
Yeah.
What do you get-
Also, because I think on my favorite press conferences of all time, and I wasn't expecting them before they happened. So like I don't think of Dynamite press conferences anything to do with like I'm feeling this is gonna hit a home run.
And every time I'm like that, every time I'm just like, oh boy, this EA, this is their year. Anytime Sony, this is gonna be their best
yeah.
ever. Like anytime you get disappointed.
Yeah.
Anytime you
There was
you're
one.
ready-
It wasn't last year, but the year before that, I was irrationally excited about Star Wars. I was like, EA's gonna do like 8 Star Wars projects.
Yeah.
It was like that was a mistake to be that excited. I do think I do wonder, like, I would have loved to have been in the Microsoft office that day that Sony said they weren't going to be there. And they were like, oh, I wonder how much changed. I wonder if they were like, wait, we were going to not spend money on this, but maybe we should. Maybe because I think all eyes are going to be on us. And they love having that theater, and they love being, it's not weird like EA where you got to like drive them, this one spot where there's nothing remotely E3 related that's happening near this thing, as opposed to like just right across from Staples Center in the Microsoft theater, in the same room that, you saw the press conference in. They're also demoing all these games, and it's the second year they've done specifically that, right, Blood? That was just last year they did that?
Yeah. Yeah, that showcase before was down the street.
So I just think if I was Microsoft, I would feel so comfortable about, like, we know what's worked and what hasn't worked in the last couple years. This is the last big party we're going to have before this gen wraps up. I don't know if that's going to pay off, but I just see it. I see it being so broad. I see at the end of that press conference, we like look at the list like, where do we start? There's a lot that they just talked about.
Yeah.
But having that Shenmue 3, that Final Fantasy VII Remake, that Last Guardian, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think that they will do anything with this weird announcement that happened a couple weeks ago?
What happened a couple of weeks ago?
The Sony and Microsoft.
Oh,
I bet they won't say a word about it.
Yeah.
I do think that's like corporate level years from now. I bet they won't. I think they might talk about their friends at Nintendo. I doubt they'll talk about their friends at Sony. But that's a good question, Blood. It'd be funny if they did. I mean, like, when we say they, we're talking about Phil Spencer, who is very open about everything. Yeah. He's very open, Jones, about his role in E3 this year. He said, like, hey, I know the pressure we have. I know that we have a lot on our shoulders because we are the big show now. And, like, it's cool that he's open about that and aware of that. He might say friends at Sony. He does anyway, right? He says that all the time. He'll tweet Sony, hey, good job,
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like a snarky guy to me who might say in the opening just like, and Sony's too scared to show up. Like, he would never do that,
Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like the type to say disparaging comments that would like damage any relationships or like the perceived the image of the industry and stuff. Like, positive image for everyone is better for business, it seems like. And it seems like a code he lives by from everything he's done.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good you pointing out that he did acknowledge that with his transparency that this is a big E3. I think it's not just for the fact that, like, we want to make E3 exciting. I think this is the first big step in a series of things that's going to be happening over the next probably year where Microsoft has to get these things right, because they already had the problematic rollout of Xbox One at the beginning of this current generation.
Yes.
And I think they absolutely cannot have a repeat of that. So it's the beginning of a sequence of very important events for them, and they're going first. I'm feel pretty good that they're going to be the first like tip their hand. Just actually no, sorry, Sony did. But I think like actually showing it off at like a big major event, like we might like see something a little bit more tangible than this is faster load times.
They're leapfrogging.
Yeah.
They are totally leapfrogging. And then Sony will show a little more, and then Microsoft will show a little more.
And I think they also expect that Sony's going to, like, at some point after this, Sony is going to show their thing. So we need to make a very good first impression here.
Yeah. I mean, we are recording this before we've seen the Death Stranding thing, while there's still rumors that we'll see The Last of Us 2 before our next recording. I just, like, they don't have any games that good. They simply don't. They don't have games like that. Yeah. I think you could easily say, like, hey, man, I love Gears 5 more than that, and I totally get it. I understand why you like that more, and, like, you're right. But it is just funny that the way that like hardware can like steal your lunch, and then like a software can steal your lunch, I think they can steal the lunch on hardware for sure. It's just so weird. I mean, we'll talk about it at length next week about like, what Sony's doing this week. Could be nothing. Could be absolutely nothing. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, I guess we have to stop. I mean, hey, we got an hour-long pre-show before E3. Lots more to talk about for the Xbox press conference.
I'm curious. I think this would be a fun bet too. Like, I'm curious if Sony and any of the stuff that they release over the next 2 weeks will actually attach the name E3 to any of their YouTube titles.
Ooh.
That's a question. Are they going to go so far as to be like, here's the Death Stranding E3 trailer? Like, the what now?
No. They will not.
It should be it'll be in the meta tags.
It will be in the meta. I would take that bet. Absolutely, dude.
The Ghost of Tsushima E3 2019 trailer. How dare you?
Let's blazingly fast do some love and respect. Faster, Rufus. Come on, dude. Faster. Rufus. Come on.
Blazingly fast.
Ooh, Jonesy. Okay, this game we can play really, really fast. Okay. Low respect. Hey, allies, let's play a quick game. Thank you for the word quick. With E3 right around the corner, I thought it'd be fun to take a look back at some memorable moments from past press conferences. It's up to the panel to guess what year each of these moments came from. I'll include 3 years for multiple choice questions. Yeah. Good luck.
Damiani's going to blow us out of this blood.
We'll see. We'll
We're gonna
see.
pick
Damian is
really
so solid with
random
this.
Ubisoft stuff that I'm not going to have any idea about.
All right, easy one, number one.
The EA.
Sony made our dreams come true by revealing Last Guardian, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Shenmue 3 at the same
I'm
press
letting you guys
conference.
have this because this
That's
is
2015, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
2015.
There you
Nice,
go.
nice. Open up with a winner.
That wouldn't feel right, me getting that one.
This one is for, Blood might get this first. Damiani, don't hold back.
Okay.
At Nintendo's press conference, Reggie Fils-Aimé infamously told the audience, "My body
2004.
is ready." 2004 is, we have a Wii at that point,
Oh,
Damiani?
2007. Sorry.
It's 2007. There we go.
I thought you say I'm here to take names. I thought it was gonna be Reggie.
My
Fils-Aimé.
body is the Nintendo DS.
2007
But I love it.
2007 with the Wii Fit.
I love the other
balance
year
board,
was
yeah.
locked and loaded. He was
Yeah.
like, oh, well, then it's the second
Sorry,
option.
Yeah.
I brain farted there. Like I should not have gone that point. But
Another easy one. Here we go. Giant enemy crabs took the
2006.
stage. Yep.
What?
I told you, man. Gonna destroy us.
Right, I asked for a quick game. This one's hard, actually. Patrick Soderlund stumbled on stage at Microsoft's conference after technical issues delayed the latest Battlefield demo. Is that 2011, 2013, or 2016?
Multiple choice. 13?
13, Jones. Nice.
good job.
So that is 1 year after next gen, right?
Wow.
Yeah. I don't remember that at all, actually.
I actually kind of want to see Soderlund uncomfortable, just a little bit.
He always looks uncomfortable to me.
No, he looks like he doesn't want to be there. Uncomfortable is a different thing.
Got it. 1 million troops.
That was, that's
Konami's
the
last press conference.
2014?
No.
No, you're
14
right.
seems too
Yeah, that's
soon.
way too soon.
11?
1 year less.
2008.
2010?
No.
2010.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, baby, 2010. And that was it. Man, 9 years ago. Give me a
Yeah.
Hey, 10-year anniversary. They'll come back.
This one I would not have known either. The self-proclaimed hoop god made an appearance at EA's conference to demonstrate NBA Live's new face scanning technology. Was that 2013, 2014, or 2015?
Wait, who?
The self-proclaimed hoop god.
13?
15.
Okay.
No idea. I like how they got harder. I do not remember
who is that, though?
at all. The hoop god? I have no idea who the hoop god is.
I thought I would count on you for this.
I know, man. I know.
You and sports guy over here. Neither of you know. Okay.
Who is the hoop god? Yeah,
It was just Kobe delayed that Sony press conference one time, so I always remember Kobe.
I would say that was like 2009.
Because I'm gonna go all the
okay.
nicknames
Maybe
here.
2010?
Who says they're hoop god?
I don't know. Corrections.
The hoop god on Twitter I found. Oh, this was a meme. This was a meme that I like totally missed out on.
Oh.
Okay, hoop god.
Oh.
Hoop God plays for New
I don't-
Jersey.
I mean,
Hoop
I
God.
get it
Yeah.
now. Like, it wasn't actually their real nickname. Okay.
Love and respect, Jeremy at @pick_Jeremy. Let's do another speedy, quick one. This one, yeah, we kind of hinted at this. I just want to get everybody on the line here. This is from Brian Schmidt. Love and respect, do you think we will get a release date for Death Stranding and or The Last of Us prior to E3? Last of Us Part 2, excuse me. Is that happening? Put your money on the line here.
Between the two, I would say Last of Us is probably more likely.
Do you think it's coming in 2019?
Feels like that's the next thing to talk about.
Is that a 2019 game?
No.
What is then?
Dude, Sony's on vacation, man.
They are not on vacation. It's coming this year.
Sony,
They are not on vacation.
Sony doesn't owe you a damn thing, Kyle.
What, are we getting release dates for both?
Oddly enough, like I'm starting to believe Death Stranding might be coming sooner than I think.
Ooh.
So yeah, maybe that one first. Maybe that is
Okay.
the
Public
September
beta.
or October or something like that.
If it's a public beta, does that count? We'll say that's a release date.
That kind of thing
It's
for
a date.
sure.
It's a date.
It's a date. Yeah.
Damiani, we getting dates for these games?
For both of them.
Yep.
Both of them.
Yep. I'm with you.
I just remembered something random that'll be at Microsoft's press conference.
Ooh, what?
Neo 2, probably.
That's a Sony thing.
No, wasn't Neo in Xbox before?
It was in the PlayStation one last year. That was one of their 3 third-party announcements. It was like that and Control.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Sony's got that one locked down too, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think you see a control there.
Yeah.
I just gotta say, I feel like that moment Sony announced they weren't there, these publishers like were
Yeah.
on the phone
Yeah.
with Sony and Microsoft. Like,
Because what's Sony doing? Cackling, haha! All of you don't get to go to E3. Like,
yeah.
that's
We
not good
it,
business.
We talked
like,
about
it's
it at
so
the time.
weird.
Yeah, like they're losing 50,000 live viewers and like 100,000 online. Yeah, like
Interestingly enough, I actually could see Control end up in the Kind of Funny showcase.
sure, dude. Yeah, they could lock that down. Call Greg.
They're locked in. Yesterday was the deadline.
Yeah.
Really, was it?
Oh, yeah.
So they said we know what our 60 games are.
No, the deadline for media too. They're like, this is the last day you can give us the stuff you want us to show.
Oh.
Which is hilarious because when we did Keeley stuff, we got stuff like seconds before it was shown.
Right.
There was one demo
Running it
I
with the
played
USB drive.
live. Like
Yeah.
I actually rolled that video live off of a laptop
Yeah.
onto television. Like that was a little scary.
Like guys, like just PR people running in, like, where do I put my USB? It's like, what? That is funny, Jones. Well, they got to edit that together. Okay, time for bets. Next week's bet. Okay, yeah. We know we have Death Stranding teasers at this point.
Yeah.
We know a Death Stranding thing is happening this week. We don't know if it's a trailer, if it's going to be some live experience on Twitch.
Yeah, shout out to the marketing. Like, isn't their channel like streaming right now? Isn't Death
the
Stranding
PlayStation
streaming?
channel.
And it's just
It's E3.
Yeah.
It's because it's just hands.
Jones, earlier today
It's
there were
so weird.
there were 10,000 people watching Just Hands. How many new faces will be revealed, Jones?
2.
Daniel Bloodworth.
3.
No,
Michael
I did
Damiani.
3, but then I dropped.
1.
Nice. And I have 6.
Oh.
Was that?
Good spread, Kyle.
By the way,
you did well this week.
We did talk about it. If there's a bunch of putties, that counts as one face. If it's a lion creature, that counts as a face. And then obviously any new actors counts as a new face.
It'll
as
be
well.
tough though, because if it's just random soldier guy with the clap, shoulder, like.
And we don't see his face?
No, when we do see his face, well, I gotta be like, I gotta go back and watch that first trailer because maybe he was in that.
Oh, got you. I know for sure we'll get a dozen tweets that'll say.
Yeah.
I know those will come. Last week's bet was about Total War 3 Kingdoms, released on May 23rd. How many user reviews would it have on Steam at this point?
Get ready for these
right
bets.
now? Jones,
was
you bet
insane
80.
last week, yeah.
You bet 80. Ben bet 733. Brad bet 80. I still cannot believe you both hit that super wrong number together. I bet 1,602. You know what? I can refresh it even. Let's get the most up-to-date number. Very positive. 9,672. Yeah, that's a lot of people playing that game.
Yeah.
I think none of them beat it, but they all feel good about it, which is nice. So that's a big old win for me with that high bet. That brings us to Scrappy Little Pigs 12. Gorgeous Gorillas 10. Let me tell everyone about patreon.com/Easy Allies. That would be the website you would want to go to if you want to learn more about the Easy Allies, if you want to support the Easy Allies. If you just want to see our videos, you can also go there to see that stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like you can just follow and get updates for stuff that's public.
Yeah, and it's right. It's like neatly organized in a timeline. Though EasyAllies.com also does much of that and has a schedule in your time zone. Anyway, people who listen to this podcast, you might be interested to know that if you give the Easy Allies $5 or more a month, you get this podcast 2 days early. You get it on Wednesdays instead of Fridays.
Gotta get in those Glinny ingredients.
Yeah, you can also
ASAP.
submit the final Glinny ingredient, whatever that. Oh, my God. Just got an IM. As if I'm not trying to host a podcast. Kasarar's here, IMing me. Bing, bing. Like, all right, dude.
Right.
Guess what he's got? He's got Hurt Me Daddy. I can't believe you let him have it.
What if the slogan's like bigger than the title? That's the largest text on the box, you know? He's got to correct people at like game jams, you know? Just like,
Yeah.
no, it's not called Hurt Me Daddy. It's called something else.
He knows he won. He's saying he won because we let him have Hurt Me
He's
Daddy.
always going to say he won.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Anyway, since I won the bet, I get the right and responsibility to share my Twitter handle with the world. I get to promote any Easy Eyes video I'd like to promote. I get the final word with anything I want to disagree with, reiterate, or just pop into my head. And I get to sign off with my trademark sign off. At Kyle Bossman would be the Twitter handle that I have. It's been a long time. I got tweets. I have ideas for tweets.
We'll get there someday. We'll get there to when there'll be some, middleman that'll take care of that for you.
Yes. And well, like that's what I need. I need Basically, like I want like a subgroup of Twitter followers. This will be my final word, just to keep things simple. I want it like a subgroup of like 20 Twitter followers who are like super followers. I want to write a tweet and they read it and they're like, this is a bad tweet. Then I delete it without the other followers having to see it.
Tweet screeners?
Yes. So like if the 20 approve, that's like, okay, let's put it out there.
One screen grabs and then tweets that like as a betrayal.
Yes.
Like, no!
Yes.
How'd you get in my 20?
I trusted you.
My career is over. It's over. That's what we wanted. Okay. Promote a video. Oh, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but it exists now. It's tangible. A new series from Easy Allies called Achieve It Yourself. It is highly entertaining. This is a program in which the Easy Allies have been given achievements to achieve in Switch games from our patrons. They've submitted goofy ideas for Switch games. The first episode is live. It's there for everybody. The second episode is exclusive to Patreon. So if you were a $1 patron or up, you can check out that show among many other exclusive shows on our website. I do feel bad. There were some comments that were just like, oh man, this is like a great idea. I can't wait to see more. It's like, well, I said at the end, it's a Patreon. Like, people are going to be like, hey, where'd that go?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a little nervous about making the first episode public, but like,
Well, we'll find out what the pluses and minuses were of doing it that way.
Yeah.
It's something that our patrons asked for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, just put that first episode out.
it was a good advertisement. I have to say that at least. Like, yeah, it sells the show.
Yeah, well, like one of their first comments, like, was a great idea. It's like, why don't you have the second episode available right now? It's like, oh, yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Next time. But yeah, episode 2 will be online on a Thursday, and then every week after that, new episodes until we've run through all 6. Cool. That's it. Next week we'll wrap up our E3 preview with Square Enix, with Nintendo. Sorry, Damiani. You snuck
both
a
of
lot
these guys gone. Yeah.
He snuck a lot of Nintendo into Ubisoft.
Yeah.
To be fair. And then we'll have E3 right after that. So look forward to those things. Oh, E3 week live podcast Monday night actually. So if you're looking at our E3 schedule, make note of that. And tomorrow is forever all ours. Ours!
Sexy.
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. Heroic Replicas, Able Gamers, Car Keys Express, Elfanis, Fangamer, Girls Make Games, Hogue Law, Sweet Justice, Uniqlo. Blue, Jojo Dentko, Greg Kettering, Accounts Payable, Caleb Crawford, O.M. Hochstetler. Nick, Walker Hope, Sam G, Will Schmuck, Mark Dalga, Bradley Speeds, Jay Shee, Paulo Costabel, Jake Musser, Richard G. Flowers, Beaten Down Brian, Dave Red, Zachary Wingate, Jan Tyson, Ken Lair, Corey Jackson, Professor Metal Gear, Dan Sebring, Michael Bisegli, David Balfour, Andrew Reif, Sigma, Tim O'Keefe, Ethan R.C., Mick Roper, Robert Stoffel, Hayden Hargraves, Mylene LaPearl Vanass, Damnable Nook, Anti-Ataraxia, Ali Cat, Happy Gaming, Demos Clay, Chum Nguyen, Miguel Rivas, Discarded Digit, Thomas Wigginton Jr., Neil Bruce, Matthew Pauling, Gino Elite, James Vitt, Jason A. Sackle, Luke Bennett, Candy Coated Thorns, 44 Stars, G. Levin, G. Ken, Stephen Thomason, Yasser Kerbushi, Hitman 47, Ryan Anderson, Marcel Giru 17 Froelich, Samsa Stormbaum, Alex AI, Niz Klojgard, Rack, John Burns, Brad Lohman, DRD 7 of 14, Todd Yurkovic, Joe Burns, Patrick Chong, Sam Handrick, Andy Drew, Rickster EXE, Lars Berger, Jordan Kirk, Steve Fallon, Stephen Last, HMS May Cry, The Banana Forklift Killer, Joachim Morovuo, Mango, Kelvin Hartanto, Marcel Markov, David Wen, Jesper Lawson, Oni Blackmage, Matthew Holcomb, Daryl Schramm, Brent Phillips, Catherine Lai, Gary James, John Santoro, Neuromod, Robert Crouch, Michael Yao, Mikhail Aniel, Ulf himself, Ritz 1906, Jeffrey Ruchtenwald, Mikhail Aniel, Ulf himself, Ritz 1906, Jeffrey Ruchtenwald, Rainier Dennis Bautista, Wavering Radiant, Scott Adams, V8 Dave, Eric Gustafson, Paul Sway, Toasty Soul, Christian Hundorf, Daniel Fuchs, Tony Knox, Isun Chor, Forrest, Caleb Ledoux, Mike Hook 1, Vilar, Mauricio Fuentes, Token Gamer, Quick Scares, Ian Ladarzik, Brian Foster, The Classiest Hobo, Vokaiser, Madman Kevin, Zintrax, Corey Landega, Unlucky Irish, Modren, Pooh Strongbeard, Paul Bishop, Travis Miosi, Carl Williams, Jalen Scott, Jake in Japan, Brandon White, Sean Mackey, Gabriel Aberg, Morpheus, Sean M. Gabaldon, Reed Johnson, Joe Rutsky, Nergal 131, Manuel Thomas, Adam Sharonbrock, Not Jack, Kurzistav Rogowski, Volker Bach, James Vest, Allison Burt, Ryan Feller, Jenny Markula, Bjornar Haraldsvik, Blake Bonsack, Sean De Almeida, Cisco Ace Jackson Garcia, Trizac, Wouter DeHaze, Matthew Holmes, Eric Maynard, Fabian Winkler, General Piet, Hassan Kiat, Leon Keys, Raymond Lee, Clay Roberts, JC3, Adam Lindsay, Shauna Metz, Todd Paxton, Faraz Rizvi, Jared Wheeler, Jeff Easton, Dakota Hayes, Matthew Brown, Zoostic, Don Turner, Nasuki 211, Alexander Zirianov, Aaron Kirk, Jesse Fish, Paul Nolson, Jason Joint, Edison S. Prada Jr., Alexander Breveglieri, Sarah Wampler, Dimitri Zetas, Travis Ing, Ahmad Al-Rashed, Butt Puddin, Tuttle, Furious Action Gamer, Jonathan and Amy Alconis, Stuart Siddall, Michael Schreiber, Haley Hill, Andrew Stoke, Matt Gunther, There Is No Dana, Only Zool, Evan Eng, Joshua Vanswall, Kyle Quintero, Sebastian Trier, Aurelien Grenier, Michael Pliskin, Bonnie and Jason Connor, BBC Chan, Wen Beauchamp, Stephen Walther, Matt, Kevin Campisano, Carlos Zuniga, Diggles, Ryan Cohen, XWF Outlaw, Ibrahim Sozer, Jack Cullen, Momo Rashid, Rickard Enbaum, Michael Clendenan, Breadroll Art, Sean German Efficiency Clinton, S-Snake24, Lee Young, Timo Yeager, Lindsey Wells, Eddie Reisner, Chase Caldwell, Palkin Stirs and Stirs, Nicholas Kroboff, Barry, Mikey Mizek Novak, Joey Din, Luca Martini, Gon Kef, Adam Henry, Ms. Racy, Beautiful Kai, Sean Rowe, Caffeine Rage, David Kennedy, Strikeout NZ, Michael Lay, Kenneth Procius, Mike Calvi, Flajaven, Anthony Daniel Galvin, Daniel Wong, Hadi Ali, Jameson Anderson, Noah Weinstein, Vincent Foliot, Hutchitron, Ahab, Neobear, Sebastian Olsen, Matthew Migler, Santiago Carrillo, Alex Glass, Junya Motomura, Delisi, Tim Strothman, Mithers Strongbeard, Daniel Data, Nycrypt, Mons Anderson, Ivan Skogheim, Jai Aldiar, Morgan Worth, Sam Sorensen, Awesome Express, Matt Ferguson, Vishal Singh, Felipe Aguilera, William Heaney, Krister Lundmark, Tim Mann, Chris the Pianist, Michelle Nubb, Michael Stevens, Sandra and Richard Acero, Andrew Smith, Battleox, Evan S., Tiana Salazar, Randy Blakely, Pablo Rodriguez, Matthew Colomb, Stephen N. Parker, Jordan Phillips, Philip Klarskov Jensen, Sun Pham, Jamies, David Amaro, Alex Monaco, Jacom Blowbaum, Arthur Henrique Chinaglia, Zach Kaczynski, Jameson Lapine, Nuno Amaral, David Boyarsky, Rahiv Maharaj, Ryan Wanger, Pete Cerny, Joachim Wiederberg, Christopher Santos, YouTube, Extravaganza, Gali Gutierrez, Chris LaRue, The Fatty Show, Jason Shields, Sud Al-Masafir, Stephen Cassell, Remy Loisel, Michael Kozachenko, Michael Bologna, Pete Shoemaker, Repas Edud, Irvin De La Torre, Max Harms, Cyberboa, Christophe Fatui, Azazel Valkyrie, GW Fox, Alexander McGeekern, Jeffrey Murillo, Mazrim Tame, Chris Bennett, Liam Ahern, Crediar, Jesse Vitelli, A Pack of Puppies, V. Cura Ray, Tristan Howard, Jason I, Ronka Q, Sean Cornett, Andy Marks, Jeremiah Snowden, Materia Addict, Robert I, Will Arrowwood, Tyler Wallace, Julius Garcia, Gustav Strombaum, Christoph Packlinger, Alex Lavanier, Ian Anderson, Nefertiti Jenkins, Malcolm Moschette, Adam, Joel Olson, Quinn Riley, Robert Ori Einerson, Christopher Donnelly, Michael Rebelato, Matt Karwoski, Patrick, Logan Young, Trevor Thomas, Toby D. Ryman Schneider, Matthias Lair, Self-Imposed Illegitimate Child, Joel Short, Marco Hernandez, Magnus Rasmussen, Todd Vedvik, Clinton Hayes, Seyun Kim, Struggler, Randall Crittenden, Jose Gutierrez, Tense George, Dominic Brown, Sal Ramon, Chad McIntosh, Bunny Chen, Isaac Swanson, Joey and Kate, Raymond Chow, Kari Carson, Ian Anderson, Zahid Hosseini Karami, Dan Pan 16, C.S. Lewis, Oru Gacchino, Splanton, Jana, Roy Sung, Kim Monk Vonderleith Haagensen Petersen, Colin Hoylman, Reed Marlett, Thorfkin, Jethrin, Max His Shame Turman, Shanley Ladia, Rerun, Linson Wu, Louisa Barra, Philip Higdon, James Brown, Max Cannon, Spencer Stevens, Supernova Smith, Russell Bateman, BM5, Richard Gunther, Jesse Blue, Ivan Ponce, Jay Potter, Christopher A. Butler, Sean Essen, Sebastian Urban, Matt Ford, Marco Zanone, Alec Church, Culinary Stud.